Hey, what do YouTube? This is your boy Jerry Speaks. Right now, I want to talk to you guys about Riverdale Season 1, Episode 9, La Grande, Illusion, and man, we get a lot of illusion. We saw from right off the bat, Betty hasn't talked to Polly in a long time, in a while, and she's worried about it. She's wondering why her sister has not contacted her. And it turns out, Polly actually, while at the banquet with Archie, she tells him, don't tell Betty to back off. I don't want her to save me because I'm being a mole. I'm on the inside trying to figure out what happened with Jason. His parents kept threatening him and things of that nature no one knows about. And she's trying to prove that claim, which is why she stayed there with the Blossoms. Perfect move if you ask me. And also, one thing we also learned also is the fact that just how manipulative and clever and vindictive these Blossom family members are. They pretty much bought Archie so then that way to bring him onto their side so then they can continue to screw his father over and the other families as well. The Lodges as well, Veronica and Hermione, and now Hiram, her father. So what Jughead and Betty concluded is that possibly what Hiram was doing was getting back at the Blossoms for them screwing him over, which only seems very fair. We also know that Veronica and Ethel had a very interesting relationship. Turns out as soon as Hermione, Veronica's mother, found out Ethel's last name, which is Muggs, who was once a business partner of Hiram, he ended up trying to kill himself because of the stuff that Hiram put him through. It turns out, Ethel told Veronica, we're losing her house, and it's crashing her father, which honestly what I mean. You have a family, and you're there to protect and secure them, and then you learn that you're losing your house because of some shady shit that you did with somebody else, fell through. It only makes a lot more sense. And so then that causes Ethel's mother to just erupt and just go crazy. She said, why don't you just admit the truth that your father and your family is just nothing but a bunch of crooks, and he deserves to be right behind bars, which things of that nature. And then also before that, you saw Veronica treat Ethel to her house for lunch with Veronica and Kevin. You see Veronica gave Ethel a lot of her stuff because she really wanted to. And at the end of the episode, towards the end of the episode, you saw Ethel pretty much apologized to Veronica, saying, listen, it's not your fault that what my father did. The seat's empty if you want to take it. And Veronica saying, listen, I meant what I said. I am sorry for what happened. And then also, we're still going through with that whole Blossom thing of how the Blossoms how Clifford and his wife treated Cheryl opposed to Jason. Jason, as Cheryl said, Jason was the golden boy, the star quarterback of the team, pretty much the better son, the better child than his sister, and that of course affects a lot of children these days in these upper echelon families, and even in the middle class families as well. When you have the first, second, middle child, and things of that nature, classism. And so, with that being said, I can definitely see and feel for Cheryl, but she switches like a damn light switch, man, like up and down, just up and down. You see, towards the end of the episode, you see her marking out Jason's face with a red marker, and then you see Polly say goodnight to her, and she reds her face out as well, which means she's gonna try to sabotage Polly in some way to gain some acceptance and validation from her family. I hope not. That's my theory. It just shows how vindictive they really are. Then towards the end of the banquet that Archie was in, Cheryl kisses him, knowing that he has a girlfriend who is Valerie, and Valerie feels she's being ignored by Archie, which only makes sense. It's really fucked up. Again, how manipulative and clever and vindictive these Blossom family is, which is why it makes sense as to why Fred Andrews and everybody else doesn't like them, because they're just sneaky and just manipulative ass bastards, greedy. It makes a lot of sense. So, and then you hear Fred tell Hermione, listen, from now on we're just business partners. What we mean had is done, so. Finito. I'm going to go ahead with the project, but I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for my people, my workers, and myself, for my son. Because they constantly try to buy Archie throughout the episode, a new guitar, music program for the summer, things of that nature. And Valerie just said, well, the fact that you have to ask me, this proves you don't even know me, Archie. Because she was trying to tell him, like, listen, they're just trying to buy you. Same thing his father tried to tell him, and Archie, when Cheryl just barged into the house with the guitar. They're trying to buy you. They've never looked at since when. Like his father said, since when have they looked out for you? Never. They're just trying to buy you, bro. And he's right. They did. And so that's how that is. And I'm really, then we also see the stuff with Betty's family as well. Her mother getting fired by her father. Hal firing Alice. Right then and on the spot when she tried to gain some clearance into writing the story to expose the Blossoms. She ended up throwing a damn rock through the damn glass, shattering it, and shit like that. Some waiting to exhale type shit. And yeah, and then you see, you hear Alice break down and say, "I thought this would have brought the family back together," and then you pretty much just see Jughead and Betty working together, to expose the Blossom for what they are. And that's great right there. I look forward to, I hope their relationship continues to blossom and everything like that. And I hope Archie can find a medium. And then also you hear, right before Archie's walking away out of the banquet, in the snow, he hears Clifford and his wife discuss how they're going to get the Lodges in trouble, how they're going to finish them. And I really cannot wait for next week's episode. Because shit's about to go down. But this is your boy Shit. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you guys think about the video. What do you guys think is gonna happen next week? Let me know in the comment section below, man. I love you guys. God bless. I'm sorry for the lateness, but I promise to get to you guys. Like I said, now it looks like since it came on today, it looks like you guys have to wait about a good 2 days before I can do a review.